And welcome back to another Craft Day in a Box video. And this is the project we're going to be doing in this video. This is a little acetate card box, which is a product in our Stampin' Up! Repertoire, and a little set of 4 note cards that go with it. So in your pack of supplies, you're looking for the acetate box, which is folded flat, and in that you're going to find your 4 3x3 note card bases and a little white tag. Okay, you're also going to need, from the pack of paper, which was inside the big brown craft windowed box, which is another project, we gave you a sheet of each of the different styles of paper from the In Color Designer Series paper pack. So all of our color families, our 4 color families, the brights, neutrals, subtles, and regals, have a paper pack, as do our In Colors. So there's our we have two sets of In Colors going right now. Heaven help me, I can't remember the years, but they're 2 years each and they overlap a year. So there's last year's In Colors and there's this year's In Colors. This is the set that has the freesia, the evening evergreen, the papaya, the soft succulent, and the pink. I'm sorry. No, can't remember what kind of pink it's called. To me, it's just pink. And there's two patterns of each paper, and they're double-sided, so they have different patterns on the back side of them. And you get quite a variety of different patterns and things with this paper. They're really fun. Okay, so for this particular project, I used a piece of the soft succulent, and it's the diamond patterned one. So you're going to need a piece of that from your paper stack, and that's the first piece I'm going to cut. And we're just going to cut 2 1-inch, let me just make sure, 2 1-inch strips of that paper. Just go in the same direction. So 2 1-inch strips. Okay, and that's all we're going to use from that paper right now. So there are the supplies that we need. You will also need some of your shapes, images that we stamped in the very first video and cut out. Okay, so we're going to do some stamping and we're going to do some gluing and adhering. So I'll show you the 4 little note cards that are in this box. So we've got a nice little belly band on here with a plum pudding, a fruit cake, whatever this is for Christmas. It doesn't have to be Christmas, but I mean, it's got holly berries on it. It's probably for Christmas. If you wanted to make it a birthday, just cut the holly berries and the holly off the top of it, and it could be a birthday cake. So we've got one with cupcakes, a tasty treat for someone sweet. We've got one with some pie, any way you slice it, I'm thankful for you. I love the sentiments in this set. They're so fun, so fun. Another one with the fruitcake on the front, and just chose to not do a sentiment on that one. I might put a sentiment inside of it, and that could be that any way you slice it one again. And a tasty treat for someone sweet with some caramel apples. Oh, look, I'm sorry, there are some other papers on here that we need to do. I forgot all about that. Okay, so we're going to need from, and you can decide whatever colors you want to do. You're going to be decorating these, but this piece here, I use the freesia color, and it measures, we'll get it here exact, 2.5 by 2.5. So we're just going to cut a square, 2.5 by 2.5. From whatever one of your designer papers that you want to do. Okay, so we have that piece. And then I use this pink one. Let's see here. That's the one with the, not sure what you'd call that pattern. It's kind of a fancy tiley pattern, and that is just a 1/2 inch strip. We'll do a little 1/2 inch strip, and I used half of it here and half of it there, and I think I just flipped it over. Yeah, so one side's got lines and dots and one side's got the other, so we just cut that in half at 3 because the paper is 6 by 6. So there, we have our 2 strips of the pink. Now we're done with our cutting. Okay, so we've got all these different pieces. We've got our tag. Let's do the stamping part first. So we're going to take one card base. We're going to get matte or something foam. Foam placemats work well. A book works well. Catalog will work well. And I want the candy apple stamp. So let me get a candy apple stamp. Oh, he's sticky. He's good and fresh. And take my cupcake off. Get the candy apple. Get some Memento ink. Bring that in here so you can see what's going on. Try to keep it all here visible. And I'm just going to go, not quite all the way to the bottom, in the middle of that panel. And I'm going to put an apple. And then another one beside it. And one on the other side. There we are. Now, when I did the coloring video earlier, I showed you that you could have caramel apples or you could have the red candied apples. And look, I picked up black ink again. I must have ink on that lid of that ink pad, and I'm going to have it all over everywhere. So, oh well, okay. It's on the back of the card. Nobody's going to notice. Make sure I get it off my fingers or get it anywhere else. So I think where I made this one, caramel apples, and I colored this using a little bit of pumpkin pie, a little bit of pale papaya, a little bit of ivory colored blends, and blended them all together to give the caramel color. This one I'm going to do the candy apple over a green apple. So I'm using my Granny Apple Green blend, and I'm going to color the tops in like that. There we go. Just like that. My sticks are going to be, if I can find it here, soft suede. I think it is. Is it soft suede? Bronze. Bronze. That was what I used. Soft suede, bronze. Any brownie color like that will work fine for the sticks. Just go very gently and easy down the middle to get it in there. And then for the candy apple part, I am using cherry cobbler. It's a little darker than the red apple. I wanted some differentiation in them. And so I'm just using my cherry cobbler. This is the light cherry cobbler. And I'm just going around the outside edge, being careful to stay inside my lines. We're not cutting these ones out. They're staying on the card, so we do want to be careful about coloring. And just like that. Across the bottom here. There we go. Okay. Then we're going to take that little piece of pink designer paper. Ooh, I'm almost out of glue again. I get excited when I'm out of glue because that means I get to open up a new one. It's fun opening up fresh new product. And I'm putting that about 1/2 inch away from the top. So this is a 1/2 inch strip, so I'm making it an equal distance from the top. Going that down like that. And then I need a tasty treat for someone sweet stamp. We also have Love Ya and Bring On Christmas, but they're too wide. So we're going to use the tasty treat. Oh, the stamp set is not in here. Right. It's hiding. I took it out. Tasty treat. Trade that one for the apple. All right, and we need our little tag. And I'm just going to do that in black. Yeah, that's where all the ink is coming from. My lid. I re-inked this pad recently, and I think it got a little... We're just going to put you over there. A little too juicy on the edges, and I keep picking up the ink off the edges of the pad. All right. Let me get my head right in here. Come forward. There, that's just going to go in there like that. Make sure my fingers don't have any ink on them. Then we need a couple of dimensionals. Probably big ones. Won't hurt for this one. And we'll do it like that. And then that's just going to straddle the little piece of pink. There we go. And then we can fold her in half and take the point of our bone folder and just give it a good crease. There we go. So you can see subtle difference in the apples. Different kind of apples, caramel apples, candy apples. But that's fun, right? Whoops. Makes a nice little note card. Okay, so that's one. Let's do the cupcake card next. So I'll bring my mat back in, bring in one of my cards. I'm going to want some of my cupcakes. We did a bunch of cupcakes earlier. So I just want to make sure I get some cupcakes that are going to match. And the first thing I want to do is stamp my tray. So get that off the thing here. And when you got long, wobbly stamps like this, it is best to lay them down and let them relax on their own. This is where the foam pad is good because they don't stick to the foam pad. Just let them sit. Then pick them up on a block. Because if you adhere it to the block, you might get it crooked. And so this way I know I'm picking it up. It's perfectly straight. Okay. So we're going to go into our black ink. And I'm just leaving my ink pad over here off to the side. I'm going to try not to pick it up too many times because every time I touch it, I get ink all over my fingers. And then I'm ruining my cards. And this is just going to go down towards the bottom. Be careful that you don't go off the edges. It's just almost exactly as wide as the little card. There we go. Okay. And I chose not to color in the tray on this one, just to be different. I wanted the focus of the color to be on the cupcakes. So I'm going to fold this, give it a little crease here. Oh yes, we've got our sentiment to do. We should probably do our sentiment at the same time. I still have that on a block. And we're doing that in that pink. So now we're going to find out what that pink color is. Polished pink. I should have known. All I had to do was look to the right where all my ink pads are, and I would have remembered that the pink color is polished pink. So polished pink. That's just going to go right in the top in the middle. Just like that. And interestingly enough, there's no red dye in polished pink ink because look, my stamp is clear again. If you know about photopolymer stamps and our red inks, or any ink that has red dye in it, they're instantaneously and forever dyed red. So that one doesn't have any red dye in it. Okay, one cupcake is going to go in the back, and 2 cupcakes are going to go in the front, just over top of them up on dimensionals. I just want to make sure I've got a good variety of colors here. No, 2 pink icings, can't have 2 pink icings. That works. Okay, so this one's going to get glued down. Like that. These 2, I'm going to get some dimensionals. They really only need 1. These are tiny little note cards. The cupcakes aren't that big. And I am allowing them to overlap a little, but they're going to have some height to them, so that won't matter. And just trying to keep them equally spaced. There we go. Isn't that fun? There we are. Okay, that's that one out of the way. Now let's do the plum pudding or gumdrop cake. We need a little purple piece. This one's very simple. Going to increase our score. We're going to put some glue on the back of our square. So all the prep work for this one was done when we did our coloring in the very first video. So that just goes in there like that with a nice large margin of white around the outside edges. Like that. And because we got a 3x3 card here, this one could have one of the larger sentiments on the inside. Okay. And then we're just going to put some dimensionals on the back of the... Actually, I want my little ones, I think, because I want to put some on the hollyberry part so they don't go flat. There we go. So a couple little ones and a couple of bigger ones on the back of the cake, like that. Oh, he's stuck to me. Goes on there like that. Can't get much simpler. Okay. And then we have the apple pie one. Or not necessarily apple pie, pie. Could be any kind of pie. So we'll take our last base. Give it a crease. And we're going to glue this pink strip down. I'm using the other side on this one, so we're going to have the little lines and dots. And he just goes right to the bottom edge. And this is why I like my liquid glue, because now I can just shuffle it down, push down on it, and I know it's right at the bottom. Okay. And then I need my any way you slice it stamp. Any way you slice it. And that block, there we go. do that in black. I'm thankful for you. Just do that up in the corner there. There we go. And then 2 pies. Two pies. So let me see. A yellow one and a blue one. That's what I'm going to do. Okay. And so one gets glued right down. It just goes up there like that. And the other one gets a couple of dimensionals on the back. He goes down there in front, like he's on the table in front. There we are. Okay. Now we're going to decorate our little box. We should put our box together too. I should show you how this goes together. So they come flat. They come 10 in a package. They're a regular catalog item right now in the annual catalog. And you just kind of have to bow it open and then flex and fold. And that makes the box. Okay. And then you fold your tabs in and you fold your ends in, just like you would make any of our other boxes and things that we have. Okay, I'm not going to do that one. I'm going to put it back in the package for another time. But you make your box, leave one end open. Now for our belly band, I'm going to take and put some glue just here. And then I'm going to glue this together, and just because I don't know, funny about this, I'm going to try to line up the grid. It's not going to line up exactly, but anyway, just overlap it a little. Doesn't need much of an overlap, but keep it straight. So I'll use my grid paper here to line this up so that it's straight across. So when I wrap it around, it's going to come around and meet itself where it needs to meet. Okay. And then when I'm wrapping this around the belly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide this joint behind my cake. Okay. So I'm going to put my joint a little bit to the left. Okay. And then I'm going to find my corner here, and then I'll just take it off, line it up so that I'm folding it straight. Put her back on, hold it nice and tight, find the next corner, do the same thing, take it off, crease it. Okay, so now I've got that around there. Do the same here, find this one, make sure that it's nice and tight, find this one, line it up on the back, like that. And we've got lots of extra here, okay? So we don't need all that extra. So I'm going to allow it to overlap about 1/2 inch, and I'm just going to snip this off. This is going to get used in another project, so save that, don't throw it away. And then to put this together so that it works well, on the piece that lays flat against the box, put a little bit of glue on the end, close to the end there. And then on this piece that's going to go down on top of it, again, put a little bit of glue on its end, and that's going to make the two ends stick together. We don't care about what's in the middle, it's just the two ends that we want. And put your finger inside the box to give yourself something to press against to hold that. Okay, so now we have a band on our box, like that. Then all we need to do is put a cake on. So I've got another cake, and I'm going to put a couple of dimensionals on the back of my cake. So one up here near the top, and I'm being careful because these come off over top of the edge. So one here and 2 near the bottom. And they're actually going to come over the edge and stick it to the top of my box. So that's actually what this little bit of gummy here was from my other one, the dimensional. I had to peel it off so I could show you how it worked. So when I put that on, like that, the dimensional is down here in this corner is going to stick to the front of my box. Okay, so that's going to keep the belly band from sliding all over the place. And then if you want, cut yourself a scrap of paper and make a little tag and just glue it on there, tuck it in, put it on some dimensionals. The Love Ya fits there perfect with that. And then you're going to take your 4 little note cards and put inside your box like so. And then this becomes a nice little gift you can give somebody, just with 4 little cards in it. And if you don't like that the other images are showing through the back, just flip them around so that they're white on the front, and then they can see the other cards through the back. Okay, so there we are. That's that project. I hope you enjoyed that. Be sure to take pictures and post them to the Facebook link so that we can see how you finished off your cards. Remember that you have packages of sequins that are included. You've got embellishments, you've got rhinestones, you've got ribbon. Use some of those rhinestones, ribbons, and embellishments to dress these little note cards up, dress up your box. We would like to see how you personalize your box. Thanks, and continue having fun.